What's going on, Go Nation? I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Cosmic Wonder Avengers Secret Wars. Major change happening. Marvel making sure it's great. It's gonna be great because it's Marvel. It's Marvel. Yeah, I honestly don't know what's going on. I kind of just want to get into the video. So before we get into the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subs. Let's get into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and it looks like amidst all of these changes that Marvel Studios is seemingly going through right now, with some delays in Phase 5 and Phase 6, with new special presentations being announced, with the Fantastic Four rumors going crazy, and Marvel Studios cracking down on who exactly they want to be their first family, to Executive Vice President Victoria Alonso no longer being with Marvel Studios, it looks like Marvel is making some big moves. And one of those moves might be for Secret Wars as well. Now, we have talked about a lot of changes happening to the MCU recently, and I know a lot of fans have sometimes taken this as a bad thing. However, the Marvel Studios change that they could possibly be making to Secret Wars is good. It's going to mean a lot for Secret Wars and also the Kang Dynasty as well, and everything that is going to happen in between those films. Reports and rumors have told us that what's going to happen between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is actually going to be pretty great and is kind of just going to be a part of the same story that these Avengers stories are going to be telling. And if Marvel Studios does this the right way, this could be an even bigger event than Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Now, both of those movies, Infinity War and Endgame, were a Part 1 and a Part 2. In fact, when they originally announced them, they simply said Avengers Infinity War Part 1, and then they listed Part 2 as well. It wasn't until later that they revealed that Avengers Endgame was indeed the title of Avengers 4, and that was also after they told us that it wasn't the title, but of course it was. And also, granted, I would argue that Marvel Studios did not plan on releasing the titles for the next two Avengers films, the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. However, right before they revealed Phase 5 and some of Phase 6, the titles were actually leaked a day before. So Marvel Studios revealed those titles for Phase 6. I'm not sure they would have otherwise, because what's interesting is Marvel Studios kept Phase 6 pretty secretive except for the Fantastic Four, which we already knew was coming. But perhaps there was a good reason of why they were keeping Phase 6 such a secret. And one of those reasons could be because of Secret Wars. It looks like Marvel Studios actually plans for Secret Wars to be a two-part film. That's right, according to another report, Avengers Secret Wars could be a Part 1 and a Part 2 film. And I have talked about this before when the first rumor started going around, but now I think this is going to happen more than ever. And I think there's an extremely good reason as to why this is going to happen. That just makes sense, and I think fans are going to think that this is indeed going to be for the better. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a bit or just keeping up with Marvel Cinematic Universe news on your own, you know that Marvel Studios right now is focusing on quality over quantity, and you know that we are getting some delays in Phase 5 and Phase 6 for that specific reason, so they can have more time to work on individual projects, not be rushed, and put more essentially care into them. This is confirmed by Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and the Disney CEO Bob Iger. So they're going to do fewer projects a year, and I think this also leads to Secret Wars being a Part 1 and a Part 2 movie. This is essentially going to give us a three-part film: Avengers the Kang Dynasty, Avengers Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2, although the Kang Dynasty is going to be very different than Secret Wars based off of everything that I've heard. But the reason that Marvel Studios is going to split Secret Wars into two parts is so they can do it right. This is a movie that is supposed to be bigger than Avengers Endgame. How do you go bigger? Well, you involve the multiverse. That is Marvel Studios' plan, but that doesn't mean you can execute it right if you don't do the right things. And I personally think that making it a two-part movie is doing the right thing. With all of the different universes that exist in the multiverse, with all of the different heroes that exist out there coming together, the X-Men from other universes, from the Fox universe, the Fantastic Four from other universes, plus not to mention the Avengers from other universes. And on top of that, the Kangs from other universes all coming together in one big movie. Well, you can see how a 3-hour movie, a 3.5-hour movie, well, that's not gonna cut it. You're gonna have to jam a whole lot into one movie. And really, if they wanted to do it right, this would have to be about a 4-hour movie, which some people, in fact, a lot of people complain that they can't sit through a 4-hour movie, even if it's an Avengers film. 3 hours is really hard to sit through for some people as well. A lot of people have to get up, go use the bathroom. People want refills on their popcorn, on their drinks, and they don't want to get up. So making a 4 to a 4.5 hour movie isn't really ideal. However, what is ideal is splitting up the movie into 2 different parts. That way, you can have each movie be about 3 hours long and you can take your time with the story. Nothing has to be rushed at all. You don't have to cram a bunch of scenes into one movie. You don't have to cut a bunch of scenes because the movie is too long, and you can spend more time on character development. And I think that's actually been kind of a problem that Marvel Studios has had recently. Ant-Man and the Wasp was a perfect example. The movie was too short. I think the movie should have been longer, because in the end, where the quantum people were kind of starting a revolution, I didn't really have that much of an emotional connection to them because I feel like I didn't spend that much time with them to really develop that connection in the movie. And I talked with a lot of you all on Twitter and on Instagram asking you the same question. A lot of you agreed. I talked to other YouTubers as well, and a lot of people agreed on this. So splitting Secret Wars into 2 different films would make it to where they could really do it right. And that's what I think everybody wants. This movie, or movies if it's going to be split up into 2 different parts, needs to be done right. And this is a perfect way to do it. Now, speaking on whether it's going to be really a 2-part film or a 3-part film with Kang Dynasty, like I mentioned, we've learned that the Kang Dynasty is going to be quite different than Secret Wars. Secret Wars truly is going to be a multiversal film. It will explore a bunch of different universes, a bunch of different heroes, a bunch of different teams like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers. It's a true multiverse film. However, the Kang Dynasty is not that. The Kang Dynasty is very much going to be focused just on Earth and our Avengers, our new Avengers team, whoever Marvel Studios has planned to be on that roster. This is apparently how it's going to work. Kang is going to come for the Kang Dynasty. And it's kind of going to be like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Not story-wise, not quality-wise, but just the fact that there's only going to be one Kang, but the multiverse and the other Kangs will be mentioned. But the movie will take place in the Earth 616 universe. They're not going to multiverse travel a lot, if any at all, and they will most likely lose to Kang the Conqueror at the end of this film. Much like in Avengers Infinity War, the Avengers lose to Thanos. This will then set up the events that happen between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which is going to be about the multiverse. From what we've heard, our heroes between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars will then start traveling the multiverse, searching for other heroes to take on Kang and his variants. Then in Avengers Secret Wars, they're going to show us the perspective from the other universes. So this could be them showing us one universe where a different Fantastic Four team is fighting Kang, or in another universe, a completely different Avengers team is fighting Kang. Then in another universe, we have the X-Men who are fighting Kang. It could be the First Class X-Men. And then in another universe, we could have the Fox X-Men fighting a different version of Kang. So basically it is what we want, a giant multiversal battle for the fate of the entire multiverse. Until eventually, I'm assuming they're all going to come together in one universe and take on either what's called Prime Kang or the Council of Kangs, which you know is going to be an insane fight, which is why I'm okay with Marvel Studios making Secret Wars into a part 1 and a part 2. With all of that happening, it needs to have time. Ironically enough, because time is really nothing to Kang, he controls it. But to do this movie right, it needs to not be rushed. It needs to have a lot of scenes not be cut for the sake of trying to make it a 3-hour movie. So I think part 1 and part 2 for this is a good idea, but hey, let us know what you think about this in the comments down below. Do you like this or do you not like it? Let us know down below, and please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the latest MCU news. You can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
Secret Wars is going to be insane. Part 1 and part 2. I'm low-key kind of shaking, kind of shocked. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment or two. You already know what to do. I'm out.